Have you ever been faced with an objection trying to make a sale? What do you do when that happens? And how can you turn objections into a sale? If you've ever been in this situation and you've asked yourself these questions, I have an essential guide for you. Hi, I'm Doug C. Brown from Business Success Factors, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the 9 rules for handling objections. And with these rules, you'll be able to help your buyer win the sale and never worry about memorizing objection scripts again. Rule number 1, breathe and relax. Why should you breathe and relax? Well, if you're not calm and relaxed, the first instinct you're going to have is to defend yourself in an attempt to overcome the objection. And what happens if you try to overcome the objection? Well, you'll be playing the you win and they lose game. Please understand that the buyer doesn't want to lose, so eventually you will end up losing too. So breathe and relax so that you can take logic and that can overtake your emotions. Rule number 2, get curious, not confrontational. What do I mean by getting curious? Instead of assuming your prospect's reasons behind their objections, get curious about them and ask questions to understand what is happening. Might sound simple, but what you have in mind might be different from what they're actually thinking. When you're confrontational with the buyer, you create resistance to what you have to say and to offer. When instead you get curious and ask the right questions, you increase your chances of saving the sale. Rule number 3, think before you speak or act. When a buyer has an objection, take a moment to think about, what are you going to say or do? Take a moment. Too many times I've seen sellers react without thinking, and they say things that cannot be taken back. And when emotions are high, even the smallest thing can set off an argument. And if a buyer feels like they're in a fight, they're going to shut down the sale. So think before you talk. Rule number 4. You got to ask really good questions and let them talk. Now, not all questions are created equal. Open-ended questions are your best friend because they get the buyer talking. They get them to reveal their thought process and the underlying emotions, which is exactly what you want. For example, instead of asking a close-ended question like, do you think your biggest challenge is finding the right clients? That's a yes or no. You can ask, what do you think will be the 5 biggest challenges for you this year in finding clients? After that, let the buyer talk and really listen to what they have to say. Rule number 5, don't overcome objections, resolve them. So, you've asked good questions and you're letting the buyers talk. What next? You need to listen for ways to resolve the issue, not overcome it. The buyer isn't looking to be overcome. That is what one does to win a wrestling match. In sales, however, the buyer expects to be understood and advised on the best possible solution, not pinned to the mat. That solution needs to solve their specific challenges in their unique situation. Rule number 6, focus only on win-win. When you focus on win-win, you put yourself in the buyer's side of the table. You begin to see things from their perspective, and the buyer sees you as part of the solution. Remember this. When the buyer wins and sees you as the positive influence in helping them resolve their fears and obtain the right product or service for them, you also win. Rule number 7, there should be no loser. Lose-lose is not an option. Win-lose should not be an option either. The goal must be win-win. You always want to guide the buyer, not manipulate them, to a positive and effective resolution. But what if you realize the sale isn't right for the buyer? Then you want to be the first to let them know that the sale is not in their best interest or yours. This way, the buyer doesn't end up with buyer's remorse, and more importantly, you protect the relationship. Rule number 8, watch your tone and your expression. It's not always about what you say, but how you say it. Your tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language will all contribute to your message. Take the word no, for instance. Just by changing the tone of your voice and your facial expression, you can convey surprise, no. Disgust, no. Anger, no. Irritation, no. Happiness, no. And even exhaustion or surrender. Rule number 9, maintain rapport at all times. Rapport is made up of 3 things: trust, like, and respect. Many will say that these 3 things are equally important. I firmly disagree. From years of working with tens of thousands of clients, I believe that trust is the most important of all 3. If you had to assign a percentage to each, I would say go at least 50% trust, 25% like, and 25% respect. So why is trust more important than, say, like or respect? Because when a buyer trusts you, they're more likely to be open and forthright. They'll give you honest, truthful answers, and you can find out the real objection or the real reason behind the real objection. Without trust, a buyer will hold back. You want the buyer to like you, respect you, and trust you wholeheartedly. All right. These are the 9 rules for handling objections. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, I ask you to please like it and subscribe to my channel to hear more of my sales revenue growth insights. Also, please comment and let me know your thoughts as well as what you'd like to see me talk about next. This is Doug C. Brown with Business Success Factors. To your success.